What's good, y'all? Welcome back. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to create a life by design. In other words, a life on your own terms. The number one thing that people crave is that freedom, the ability to travel when they want, the ability to do anything that they want to do on a day-to-day basis, living the life that you want. I want you to take the time to close your eyes. Actually close your eyes and just think about the answer to each of these questions I'm about to ask you. What do you want your dream life to look like? What kind of body do you envision yourself having in the future? How much money per month do you envision yourself making in the future? I want you to think about your dream car, your dream home, everything that your life is going to look like once you create the life that you desire. We're about to hop into a blueprint on how to create a life that is literally designed for what you desire to achieve. Now, first thing is first, if you want to be the designer of your life and not have to worry about fulfilling someone else's dream, then you have to be clear on what it is that you want. And I mean very, very specific. I remember I used to take days where I would literally just meditate and envision how I want to live my life. How I would think about every fine detail down to how many trees I wanted in my backyard. What do I want my grass to look like? What color car do I would think about every last detail so that I was clear on where I was going. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is create a clear vision. Be very, very specific about what your goals are. And I want you to clearly define your income. How much money do you wanna be making per year or per month? What is your dream body? Be specific. How much do you wanna weigh? What does your lifestyle look like? Do you want to be the type of person who's an entrepreneur? Do you want to be the type of person who's a traveler? Do you want to be the type of person who just spends time with their family? What do you want your lifestyle to look like? How many kids do you want? Where do you want to live? Think about everything in the finest of details. That right there is going to give you a clear vision on what you're actually working towards. Because without this vision, you're basically a boat in the ocean with nowhere to go. No clear destination, just aimlessly wandering the world. And that's how most people live. And we're trying to change that. If you're living a life by design, you're structuring your life in the way that you want to live it. And that is the most important thing. Secondly, after you create this vision, after you're very, very clear on what you want your goals to be, you have to develop a plan. There is no way that you're going to execute or move accordingly if you don't develop a plan. Number one thing is just creating checkpoints, right? And how do we do that? I want you guys to take the time and for each one of your goals that you clearly define, your income, your dream body, your lifestyle, I want you to break them down onto a smaller timeline. For example, I know majority of you guys joined this 90-day program so that you can lose weight, so you can change your physique. And the way that we break it down into a smaller timeline is saying, okay, cool. You want to lose 20 pounds or 15 pounds or however many pounds within the next 90 days, right? So how do we do that? We have to lose on average 1 to 1.5 pounds per week in order to reach your goal in the next 90 days. How do we reach that 1 to 1.5 pound weight loss per week? And then now we have to develop habits to align with that goal. Okay, you have to be in a caloric deficit of 3,500 to 4,000 calories per week if you want to reach that weight goal. And this is how we begin to develop a plan on how to reach our outcome. Without the plan, you're moving aimlessly. And without the first setting the goal, you have nothing to be working towards. So I want you to break down your big goals, even if it's a financial goal. If you want to be making $100,000 a year, how much do you need to be making a month? And if you need to be making, I think it's around 9,000 per month. How much do you need to be making a week? You need to be making around 22 to 2,300 per week. What do you have to do to make that much per week? Because it's not happening at your job. So what other side hustles, what other businesses can you start that's gonna help you make that amount of money per week, right? Because if you make that per week, then you will reach your big goal of making over $100,000 per year. But we want to break it down onto a smaller timeline so it's more digestible, so it's easier to manage. And then the last thing about developing a plan is eliminating everything that doesn't align with what you want to accomplish. Anything that doesn't serve you, eliminate it. Playing video games, eliminate it. Watching too much Netflix, eliminate it. This is all part of the plan because just as important as it is to know what you're going to do, it's also equally as important to know exactly what you're not going to do in order to reach your goals. Last part, you can have the goal and you can have the plan and you can, slowly linger towards that goal, having everything in the back of your mind, but without taking decisive action. And understand, this word is in here for a very specific reason. Decisive. Decisive means you know what you want. Decisive action. Without taking decisive action, nothing will change, bro. You have to act and implement the changes that you are wanting to see in your life. Remember, this is a life by design. You created a clear vision, you created a blueprint, and now you have to take action. You actually have to design it. An architect gets the blueprint and then he hires engineers, he hires construction team to actually build it. Action has to be taken in order for you to accomplish your goals. And what does that look like? It's literally just the execution of your daily habits, your daily non-negotiables, and you have to learn how to say no. I remember there was a point in my life where all of my friends in high school wanted to go out and go to parties. I'm in college at this point, and not all of my friends were in college. So since they weren't in college, they were having fun. Girls here, 2-man, 3-man's dates, let's go to this party, let's go to this party. And there would be days that I would go. I'm not gonna lie. But there would be days where I just had to say no because I knew I had to get work done. I knew I had to get homework done. I knew I had to study. I knew I had to post videos on YouTube. I knew I had a schedule to attend to because in my mind, I had a goal to make $10,000 a month. I had a plan to make $10,000 a month. And now I had to execute in order to reach that goal. So my daily habits, my non-negotiables, and my ability to say no helped me reach my goal. And the most important thing is following your plan. If you create a plan but don't follow it, there is no point, bro. Absolutely no point. Once again, that's like having a roadmap to get from point A to point B and you decide to go in a completely different direction. How the fuck do you expect to go from point A to point B without following the directions on the map? You have to follow the directions. If you don't, you will end up in another destination, somewhere that is not designed. If you want to live a designed life, you have to follow your plan day in, day out. And how strictly you follow your plan will determine how quickly you reach your destination. If you're gonna be the type of person who decides to take a week off from the diet, then you're gonna be set back another week in your weight loss journey. If you're the type of person who likes to just spend a lot of money, then you're gonna be set back in your financial goals. These are the things that matter the most when it comes to actually achieving what you want to achieve. You have to first be clear on what it is that you want to achieve. You have to then develop a plan. And then lastly, you have to take decisive action. Now, there are ways in which we can break this down into smaller goals and smaller things to help you reach your goals more specifically. And that's something that we could work one-on-one for. That's what I offer in my mentorship program. If you have a financial goal, obviously a fitness goal, or any goal in mind, we could definitely sit down together and talk about how you can actually reach these goals. We can create an entire spreadsheet of different things that you need to implement, different businesses that you could work on, and how to actually achieve the goals that you're looking for. But I want to leave you guys with this. Your current self can never achieve your desired self if you do not change. And that is just the bottom line. There is no way around it. There is nothing that you can do. You're never going to get a desired outcome from doing the same exact things that you're doing now. Because if you could, then you would have already. If you were able to make more money doing what you're doing, then you would be making more money. If you were able to be skinny eating the food that you're eating, then you would be skinny. But the bottom line is you're not where you want to be because you haven't became the person that is required to achieve those things. So I'm in this video here. Let me know if you guys are interested in any one-on-one mentorship, and feel free to reach out to me and we could definitely speak about your goals more in depth.